So, hello everyone, good evening and welcome. This is Romola D Reports. I'm here this evening with Frederic Laroche, who is an IT professional, a systems engineer who has been working in the field of IT for many years. Hold on 1 minute while I pause that. Who is an IT professional, a systems engineer who has been working in the field of IT. Sorry about that. I always get feedback as soon as I open a live session. But anyway, let me resume my introduction. Frederic Laroche is an IT professional, a systems engineer who has been working in this field for very many years, possibly about 20 years, but his career has been interrupted. And he recently was in a court hearing, well, actually today, on a rather distressing subject. His career was interrupted for reasons of what he has been reporting at my channel earlier. If people know about the reports that I've done with Frederic, they're reports number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and also a need to know report, a spotlight on psychiatry that I did along with Dr. Catherine Horton, talking about the particular case that brought him to the court today. And that was a case where a couple accused him of having bumped their car, and then the woman leapt on his car and then leapt off and then later sued him for damages, etc. So that court case is what Frederic was in this morning. So Frederic, welcome. Thank you for joining me. And I am so sorry to hear about what happened today, but I'm going to let you tell everybody what really happened. So if you want to give a brief summary as to the conclusion, because, you know, the suspense is going to be killing everybody, as to what really transpired, and then go on to the story of how it went down, you know, feel free.
Okay, so hello, Romola. Yes, maybe you want to hear the conclusion of the prosecutor first?
Sure, yeah, go right ahead. As you told me on Skype, you know,
Yeah.
I should tell people we've been in touch on Skype for a very long time, and Frederic has been keeping me updated as to what's been going on.
Yes, so actually there was one judge, because sometimes in the criminal court there is three judges, and this court hearing was with only one judge. It was a lady, and this lady I didn't met her before, so it was the first time I saw this judge, and the last time, because I have already had 3 hearings before this hearing, and it was always different judge. And I was expecting the judge from the 13th June to be here, and it was not the case. So I don't even know the name of the judge.
That's really interesting that there's an absolutely different judge, and you never did find out her name, is what you told me earlier, right?
No.
Okay.
And then there was a representative of the prosecutor, because I know the prosecutor of Grenoble is a man, and it was a lady, so she was the representative of him, and she was called Madame the Prosecutor, so I don't even know the name of this lady.
Okay, possibly we can find this information out later. Let's hope, you know, perhaps by speaking to your lawyer, getting the information from him.
Yeah, so the hearing was only 1 hour, and it was the plan of the previous judge, who said that the hearing would be 1 hour in November. So during 1 hour, it was me to speak, and the prosecutor spoke at the end. And what then also the other party, the lawyer of the so-called victim, and the victim herself that spoke, and my lawyer spoke also. And then the prosecutor at the end made her conclusion. So her conclusion were very astonishing and maybe defamating for me, because she was concluding that I was having done something very violent during the time of the incident, and that I was a dangerous person indeed from the examination of my personality. And my personality has been examined during the hearing, and it was only a matter of my psychiatrist problem and nothing more. So they were not even giving me the chance to have a correct portrait of my personality. They were making a caricature. And so I was having done something violent. I was a dangerous person because of my delusions, and my delusions who made me did this incidents to the lady, because I was so-called feeling attacked by perps, and then in retaliation I have bumped the lady with my car, and then I have injured her. So that's the so-called accusation. So because I am dangerous and violent, and I did a very serious accident with my car to the lady, and I have damaged her very seriously. Therefore, I must be sentenced to the following. So she stated not only one sentence, not only two sentences, but maybe 10. So it was, the list was going on like this. First, she wants me to have 1 year of jail in suspension. And then I should have also a fine to pay, but I don't know about the amount. And then I should give some money compensation for the injuries of the lady, but I don't know the amount. And then I should have my car that has been confiscated. I should have my car never given back. And
so they want to hold on to your car because your car has actually some stickers on it talking about organized torture being real, etc.
Yes, yes. I have big stickers on the car, red color, blue color, and it is having the logo STOP with the word "Stop Gang Stalking." So it is my...
We need to put the picture of your car on my front page, and with this court hearing article as we reported.
Yeah, so they want to confiscate my car forever. And then they want to cancel my driving license, because such a dangerous person like me should not drive anymore. And I should not be given the authorization to pass a new driving license during 2 years. And then she doesn't want me to give me some, how do you say that? When you have some circumstances that can diminish your sentence.
Extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, so she said that I should not be given any of them. And then she said I should have
concessions.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she said I should have a judiciary control. So the judiciary control means that I have to report to the police every week. So it is one more harassment that she wants to give me.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And she was also saying that I should be forced medicated for life and forced to see a psychiatrist for life.
Forced medicated for life.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if...
I may have missed that. I thought it was forced medicated for a year while they wanted to stick you in jail.
No, actually, maybe she didn't mention the time or the duration, but my thinking was that it was not for a limited period, you know?
Right, right. Do you want me to read out that list that you actually wrote down?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 year of jail, fine, payment of money compensation to the lady, destruction of my car, cancellation of my license, and forbid passing it again, I guess using it again, right, during 2 years? Or getting the license, right?
Yeah.
Going to see a psychiatrist regularly by force, take a psychiatric drug by force, not be given any mitigating circumstances. They want to destroy me completely. Okay, so let's get back. So that's basically the general upshot or the general outcome of the entire court hearing that this judge sort of handed out from on high to you. But you also say that the judge basically did not go over the circumstances of this incident at all. She didn't go over the whole thing step by step as I have it out in my statement, for instance?
No, actually, she was asking me to talk about the facts. So I started to talk about the facts, and she was interrupting me because she was not happy about the presentation of the facts I was giving. So she was not letting me go through my whole explanation, because I have made an explanation of the facts, 10 page. it has taken me 10 pages to describe.
That's right. And I have seen it. I have seen it, Frederick. And I should tell everybody that you wrote an excellent timeline and you wrote an excellent and detailed summary of the entire incident, which coincides very closely with what I wrote down as well. After, you reported to me what exactly had happened yet again, as we were speaking over the last few weeks. And this whole thing that you tried to make public in the courtroom, as you tried to once again go through the actual circumstances of the incident as they had occurred in your witness, in your testimonial, you were basically not permitted to fully complete your witness testimonial in this courtroom by this judge.
Yeah, I wanted to talk, for example, of the problem of the CCTVs that have produced no video of any proof of nothing except three image of the video that has been taken from the video, and this footage, this photo are from the before the incident and after the incident, and nothing from, so I couldn't
nothing in between. So there's no video surveillance footage, and this is something I made a note of in my statement quite extensively. No video surveillance footage during the entire incident, which really permits this couple, especially this woman, to pretty much get away with anything she wants, and as she actually has, apparently, because she has made up a whole bunch of stories, whereas what you are reporting is that, and you have a witness to this as well, right? You have a witness who actually stated, oh, these people are simply making a noise. They jumped out of their car, came up to your car, banged on the car window, made a big racket, yelled at you when there hadn't actually been an accident.
Yeah. And I told the judge, there is one witness, and this witness is saying that I did not bump the car and there was no hit and there was no accident. One witness, and the other witness, they are not saying that, but this witness is the main one for me. So I have quoted him, and I have quoted another witness who said that it is not me who shouted and who was aggressive. It was the man who came from the car in front of me and came at my window. And he was shouting and making big movement with his arms.
That's correct.
So I have two witnesses about I didn't hit the car and the man was aggressive with me. So I have quoted the two witnesses, and you know what? The judge dismissed my remarks by saying no. So they didn't want to take into account these two witnesses because there were only two, and maybe they were having 8 other witnesses saying the contrary. So
are you okay? Can I? Very much so. So are you suggesting that there were planted witnesses at this site who were actually saying something contrary to what you yourself are witnessing to and testifying to, and what these two witnesses, who are speaking in your support are saying?
I think the police collected the witness, the testimony of everyone here. But among the people here, I believe, it is my suspicion that some people were planted here to make fake testimonies.
Correct, because this appears to be an entrapment and extortion operation, as we discussed, and as we ended up reporting as well. So boy, this case is so rife with errors and irregularities. It's hard to know where to start. But one other thing that must be noted is that when the police came to your house and you led them out and you showed them your car, there were no scratches on your vehicle, right? On your bumper. No evidence of damage.
Yeah, because the next day after the incident, I was at my home. I was having no worries about that because for me, there was no incident and I didn't do any hit and run. And I don't think I have injured this lady because when she fell off the front of my car, I have looked at my mirrors and I could not see her damage on the floor. And I didn't want to go out of my car to check more because I was afraid of her boyfriend coming down the road back to me, and he was aggressive with me since the beginning, so I didn't want to go out of the car. So I just had a look at my mirrors. I could not see the lady injured from my mirrors, and I could not hear her voice crying or anything like that. So for me, the case was over, there was nothing, no damage to the car, no accident, and no pain from the lady, no injuries. So for me, there was no question to get worried about this. So I was in my home, and in the next day, I received phone calls on my mobile that was switched off, and I got the message at the end of the day. I was listening to the message. It was the police, and they were asking me to come to the police station to talk about something that has happened in the street of Voiron the day before. So they were not saying more. And then I said, okay, tomorrow morning, so 2 days after the incident, in the morning, I was getting ready to go to the police station. And then at that moment, I opened the door to go, and they were here, the car of the police, and they were in civil suit. They were not having the police costume. So it was inspectors. They were not regular policemen. They were inspectors, and there were 4 of them. And there was also a big truck from the military police. We call them in France the gendarmes. So the gendarmes were here, so it's the military police. And there were 2 ladies, 2 officers with the official military suit in the truck. So they were here at my gate, and then I have opened them, and they entered my garden, and the police said, "We want to see your car, and we will have questions." So they saw my car. I have shown them everything about what they asked. So they saw my car, and they wanted to see the front. And in the front of the car, there was no sign of any damage, of any hit, of any collision, and neither a hit with a car and neither a hit with a body. There was nothing. And they were surprised, and I was surprised that they were surprised. And then finally, the military police, the gendarmes, they were saying me very cooperative and very nice person. So they were telling to the police, obviously, there is no need for us to be here. Mm-hmm. So can we go? And the police say, yeah, of course. And then they went. And the police stayed there with me a few minutes more. And finally, they put me the
handcuffs.
Yeah, on my back. Mm-hmm. And they placed me on the back of their car. And there were an officer next to me and 2 others in the front of the car. And the other officer took my car, and then we went together during half an hour or 20 minutes. We went on the road to go to the police station of Voiron.
Right. I think you had spelled this out very clearly to me earlier, and I've put it in my statement as well. And you also explained that there is a difference between the city police, the national police, and the military police, right? And you said basically that the national police is who showed up, these inspectors, rather than the local city cops.
Yeah.
Right. And they were kind of insistent, and the other ones who ultimately arrested you and handcuffed you, all very wrongfully, it sounds like, because there doesn't appear to have been any reason for them to have arrested you in the first place, as I wrote down in my statement, etc., which I will show to everybody and which will be posted online shortly, because I think this statement is going to be very important, because it actually records the events as they occurred, as Frederick is reporting them, and it records my analysis, and it records, most importantly, a lot of proof and a lot of evidence that the kind of experimentation that Frederick has been reporting for many years is indeed going on all around the world. And if people have been watching my channel, they know that this is a subject, obviously, that I cover. I speak to people who are reporting victims, but I also speak to scientists, and I speak to government whistleblowers. And I have spoken to many government whistleblowers who are testifying to these crimes and to these ongoing illegal, criminal, covert, clandestine operations of neuroexperimentation and directed energy weapons testing on populations around the world, including in the US and in Europe. So getting back to the story, Frederick, so clearly the judge did not wish to hear exactly what you had said. There's one more point about this incident. And, as you know, I made it a point throughout my statement to call this an incident rather than an accident, because by your reportage, there was never an accident. Your car did not bump the car in front. You were accused of that, but the car did not actually touch, is what you told me. And the second thing is, when the woman who leapt on your car and then later claimed that she had no choice but to leap on your car, as if most people do that generally in life. Nobody leaps on other people's cars except stunt women probably, or acrobats. So when she said she had no other choice but to jump on your car, and then she fell off, and then the police characterized it as a hit and run. However, the way you described it to me, the way you reported it to me, and the way I've put down in my statement is that you simply had been driving extremely slowly all along, even after she jumped on the car. You didn't slow down and stop, but you kept moving onward slowly because of those circumstances of this woman acting like a dangerous lunatic on the one hand, and two, the man waiting just behind, and he had been acting like an even more dangerous lunatic, right? Banging on your door and so forth.
Yeah, correct. Because actually, maybe the bumpers of the two car had a little brush. But for me, this is not a hit. The bumpers maybe brush between themselves, but the two cars didn't hit between them. So for me, there was nothing. And the two cars were immobile on the road because there was a third car in front of both of us, and this
right.
third car,
there'd been a reason to stop.
Yeah, this third car was not moving neither because the car was looking for a place to park, and then she found on a parking lot on the left of the starting of the street. Then she parked here. And I was thinking that maybe the car in front of me, maybe now it will move. So I released my brake, and I was on the stop and they were in the stop also. So I released my brake and my car just moved a few centimeters ahead. And then maybe at that moment, the two bumpers maybe brush. There was a simple brush between them, but there was no collision. There was nothing.
Right. Now, you had actually told me that they had not even touched, which is what was in my statement, as you recall, the cars did not even touch. So I get your point, though, that basically you're saying that even had they touched, it might have been just a sort of a little tiny brush and no real collision, etc. And it's, of course, if there were no marks and no scratches on both bumpers, that's also evidence that nothing really happened, right? So anyway, okay, so all of that, aside, let's come back to the court, because you were kind of laying out what happened. You were speaking and you were trying to tell the judge all of this stuff, and she was dismissing the witness of the two witnesses that you had mentioned. She was pretty much not listening to you, is what you said. She appeared to have come in with a predetermined frame of mind that the woman who is accusing you over here, Miss Stephanie Joseph, is the one who is in the right, and that she has a right to accuse you, that this is a rightful kind of accusation on her part. So go ahead and continue the story over there as to what exactly transpired in the court.
Yeah, in the court. So I was trying to explain my the ways of the facts, the way they have happened in that day of the incident. So the judge was interrupting me, and she was asking questions to me to counter my arguments. And she was using tricky questions to trap me. And I managed to stand right in my statement. But she was dismissing my ways of trying to further explain more the details. So actually, I could not say many of the details that I have written in my written statement, and after that,
which is very, very unfortunate and incredible, that here you are the subject of a court hearing, and yet the person who is being accused is not given a chance to speak and explain what had really happened.
Yeah, but I managed to say a few things.
Okay.
So, and I was asked a different question by the prosecutor and the judge and the lawyers. So I was asked many questions, and I had to justify my point of view, because clearly in this court, my point of view was believed to be wrong from the start.
Okay, so that's a good point, and let's dwell on that for a minute, because you said basically it appeared to you that they were not interested in hearing about the incident so much as in trying to judge your personality and try to state that you were delusional, basically.
Yeah, actually, there was two parts in the hearing. The first part was about the facts, but I was very, very disappointed because they were not letting me explain everything I had to say about the facts, and they were trying to impose their point of view. And they were all claiming the same point of view because it was coming from the police reports, and it was coming from the ways the prosecutor was saying the things. So um, it was the you know the main point of view. It was coming from the police. So if it's coming from the police, it cannot be argued against. So you know it's like that.
Well, I understand how it's gone down. It appears as if there's been in the courtroom an air of bowing down to police authority, bowing down to law enforcement authority, sort of seeing that as primary. It appears that there was an atmosphere like that in the courtroom. Did the lawyer step up and speak out and say the police engaged in an erroneous arrest by handcuffing you and taking you, even when there was no evidence whatsoever of any kind of crime, any kind of accident on your car?
Well, you know, the critics against the police are not very welcome in a court. So no.
Right. So that unfortunately is what we are dealing with here. We are looking at a system that's entrenched, right? And that's what we're really looking at. There's a system here. There's the judge and the law enforcement people are working together, and they're able to pull this off, even though this is a travesty of justice. It's a huge miscarriage of justice. They've not given you, the accused, a chance to actually present the facts, and they have not themselves really looked at the facts, because they are apparently in the business of covering up the facts.
And you know, there was a second part of the hearing, and the second part was all about my personality. And I don't understand why a court should judge someone about his personality. It should be about the facts only. So I don't understand this way of doing. And for me, after hearing the conclusion of the prosecutor, it was really like a witch trial has occurred to me.
Yes, it sounds like an absolute, it's like, burning at the stake apparently is what's been going on over here. A total witch hunt in the courtroom. So that is very interesting to me as well, that part one was supposedly on the facts, but they didn't want to hear the facts. And part two is on you. Now, clearly part two is on you, Frederick, because of the psychiatrist being involved. Because right after you were arrested, you spoke to a doctor and a lawyer. And then after that, you were taken to the emergency room of one of the local hospitals, right? And and a psychiatrist came out and gave a diagnosis, a very false diagnosis. So, and here again, we are seeing how psychiatry is working with law enforcement against people. So maybe you have to touch on that a little bit, as to what happened over there, because that's part of the huge miscarriage of justice that's occurred over here. And maybe we should also, I can share screens and show my affidavit at the same time, my statement at the same time, so that people can see it.
I just want to clear just a point.
Yeah, go ahead.
This affidavit, it is my request from me to you to make it, because I was thinking that it could be used at the court, and I have suggested to my lawyer to make use of it, and he told me, yes, I will make use of it. And I think he has given it to the court by written way. But he didn't mention it at the hearing, neither the report and neither your name. Oh, I cannot see you anymore. Hello? Your image is not moving. Hello? Oh. Now I don't know if it's going to be broadcast or not. I have lost Ramola from my screen. Maybe she's coming back. I don't know. I can see it's still live, but I have no idea. I will wait for her. It is very rare since the time she's using Zoom, that she has this kind of problem. So I don't know if I have to disconnect me too. I don't know. Maybe I should check what is going on. Because if I lost the contact, then I don't know what is going on. Oh, okay. Okay, I think she's coming. I think she cannot come back. So we have to do a new meeting.